cast with a lot of items can be very scary.
You just hear the bells and it's not nice.
You're not in for a good time.
Yeah.
And so there's this item Midas. You can transmute units into gold, and his ultimate is multicast. Basically gives him a chance to proc another
Midas.
Another Midas. If he Midas is 1 unit, suddenly it can Midas 2 or 3 units, right? So
which is
that's a lot
really
of that's a lot of gold, man. You know?
Yeah,
it's all about that.
Make some bank.
But jokes aside, they could pick some supports that are decent versus Batrider to play with the Spectre, but they already have a position 5, which makes it a little bit difficult. They could go for something like Legion or something like Abaddon, which they have played before. Then again, Batrider, if it is the offlane, it's going to be difficult for them to deal with it.
Yeah, these heroes don't deal well with the Batrider.
Yeah, they go with the Abaddon. Yeah,
it might be a position 5 Abaddon. You think not?
It could be. It definitely could be. It fits Solo's playstyle, but so does Ogre. And so far, he's played Ogre every single time. Yeah, I would still like to see the Ogre on position 3. You put the Abba with the Spectre, but then there's a flex on Team Spirit. They can put the Bat as position 5, and then Ogre doesn't do anything as a position 3 versus that hero. I love the opening from Spirit. Now seeing all the bans and the first 2 picks, Team Spirit have outdrafted them in the first stage a little bit. It's not too hard to outdraft them when you know they're gonna pick Spectre though.
Yeah.
The biggest difference is when you have a support that deals with the bat, he can rotate. When you have a core, it's kind of hard to put Spectre in the offlane. So if it is an Abaddon 5 and we see the Batrider on the side lanes, we are going to be seeing this Abaddon actually following him, because if he is a position 5, it's his job to take care of the Batrider in the laning phase. He doesn't have any other jobs. Of course, later on, you can purge the lasso and whatnot, but if we're talking just the laning phase, it's what his job is going to be if he is a position 5, that is.
I love this from Team Spirit now. Pango as well. Their heroes are very flexible, and you just need to adjust the lanes properly, and you can't let Virtus.pro get the right lanes for themselves, and you should be fine. As long as you as long as you run away from the Abaddon with the bat. That's it. But, okay.
DP.
Yeah, that's your flex as well, right there.
I mean, you don't want resolution on DP, do you?
I mean, he definitely can play it.
Yeah.
He had that short, well, not so short period of time, but he did play mid as well. That Prophet is definitely one of the heroes that he can play well too. So you could even have a lane such as Abaddon plus DP, right? Like some crazy position 4 Abba. But I hate to see these supports. You remember when Secret, they tried to counter this Axe with an Undying, but they already had an Oracle. And then they ended up having these 2 position 5 heroes, and they lost that game actually.
Yeah.
Because they just outdrafted themselves. They just put themselves in a really bad position.
Yeah, not a draft you want to play. Maybe the heroes are good against the enemy, but not the draft overall. That it doesn't match up well. The heroes don't match up and don't have an idea when you're going to win the game and what you're going to do, apart from the laning stage. But what I'm not liking in the Spirit draft is that the Pango and the Batrider, that's not a strong lane. If you're a Batrider on the offlane or position 4, you want a hero that has a stun.
You're 5 though. If you're Bat, you're either offlane or 5. That's how you do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But then again, like if it's a position 4 Pango, you'd rather have something that has a slow, that has a stun, that makes you able to fly over your opponents rather than just this. Because, I mean, of course you can skip the wave, but it's not really the best situation. Bat likes to dive, Bat likes to get kills.
Slog.
All right. A hero that's pretty decent versus these beefy, chunky boys on the offlanes. If any of them are played there, it's also pretty good versus the Spectre. You are able to hunt her down later on too. It gives you a pretty solid win condition overall. And I think if you have this bat, you're probably rolling it on 5 or on 3. If it's offlane, then your Grimstroke probably lanes with him. Pango is also, yeah.
But overall, a perfect Slark game. Very limited lockdown, almost no lockdown, and you have beefy heroes that don't do a lot of damage, that don't do burst damage, so you have a lot of ways to get the stacks up and to actually run away from the fight. Though, Spectre, does she still have the minus cooldown of the dagger on the on the talents. If she does, that's one of the ways you play against the Slark as a Spectre,
she does. I
because you
does,
always see him. You always see him, you always use the dagger on him, and you can always see the Slark, so he cannot heal. So that's one of the ways you can play a Spectre into Slark, though overall it's a favorable matchup for the Slark.
So we're liking what we're seeing so far from Spirit. Seems, again, the drafting side can go pretty well for both sides, but question is it going to be enough when it comes down to it?
I like their possibilities now when it comes to the laning stage. They have ways of out-laning Virtus.pro, but if that Prophet is, it doesn't even matter if Rezo plays it or if no one plays it, you will have this hero that's just backed up by an Abaddon. And I don't see the way for Team Spirit to deal with that easily. Usually you could say you can disposition her with the Batrider. Jump in, lasso, get her out of position, then deal with her. But she has this Abaddon that will be able to completely stop their aggression, to save her. And I've seen this Virtus.pro draft before. If you're Team Spirit, you need to find a way to break through all the sustain that they've got. They're very beefy, they have a lot of sustain.
It's kind of where the Slark comes in. He goes in, hits, runs
Gets
out,
his stacks up.
Yeah. That's kind of how you want to fight. It's not the easiest way to fight.
Lina.
They go for a Lina. They do miss some burst damage, which you need against the Death Prophet. It wins the lane, but I'm not a fan of it, especially not against the Spectre. You don't have any saves on your team. Spectre just gets on top of your head and you die.
But you don't even know that the Death Prophet is mid for sure. That's also the problem. Like, you just picked Lina and you're not sure if that Prophet is going to be even mid or not.
I mean, I'm never a fan of a Lina, to be honest, right now.
There is a flex, though. You could still play Lina on a support and put Batrider mid even, right? So it's very flexible on the side of Team Spirit. But no, really, these heroes can roll pretty much anywhere. And Lina isn't that, I mean, it's not your best position for right now, but for a really long period of time, she was pretty good at that spot. So that's also an option for
Even so, Spectre presses R and you die. Even if you're a position 4, because he gets all the vision. I'd rather see the Lina on the core and actually having maybe some defensive item so that she can survive the Spectre. But now Virtus.pro might be looking at something like that can jump in, that can actually follow up on the Spectre when it gives vision. You kill the Lina, bam, Spirit doesn't have damage to kill your Death Prophet, then you're in really big trouble. So definitely not the fan of the Lina. I can see it working, but it's really hard to play against.
Imagine if they could fit in a Bloodseeker somehow versus the Pango versus the Slark. It would be pretty sick, but I don't think it fits that lineup.
Yeah,
and also, we did see a couple of Bloodseekers lose to Slark Pangos, so I'm not sure what Virtus.pro needs. Their lineup looks, for me, already pretty solid. They have the objective taking, you have the late game win condition with the Spectre, the utility that comes from the Abba is there too. They can just pick and choose which way to go. Perhaps I think they're considering putting this Death Prophet on the offlane with something like an Abaddon, and then just ending the draft with a solid mid laner here.
What would that be?
I got a lot of choice to get it all done with. Seems a bit more comfortable for VP though.
Definitely, you pick a Lina when you don't know what to do. Literally, because the hero can do a lot, but she wins the lane.
Prophet as well, right?
She wins the lane. You need some burst.
Yeah, that's what they did. I think that's what they did. It doesn't have to be 100% sure, but I think the Death Prophet, because of the Lina matchup, the Kunkka will be mid, and then you will put the Death Prophet plus. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it will be the Ogre there, huh?
I think the Abba follows the Batrider, so they don't care. They don't care what they have with the DP. Both of these heroes work fine. Kunkka really deals well with most of these heroes. He's solid against the Slark as well because of the X. I mean, Lina is now forced to go for a Yules, which is not going to make her any more beefier.
But you like that Yules anyway. Yeah. I mean, that Yules on Lina is something like why heroes such as Lina are sometimes picked into a Kunkka is because you do have that Yules, which is the natural build-up for you, and it semi-counters the X marks the spot at least. But overall, I like what Virtus.pro have got going once again. I do see the win condition from Team Spirit, but yeah, I think Virtus.pro will outplay them once again.
Yeah.
This Abaddon and that Prophet on the offlane should do
So Liz is staying with Virtus.pro.
I am going with Virtus.pro as well. Their lineup seems
You're
easier to
flip-flopping
play.
again.
So what?
How dare you?
So what? It's because I'm looking at the draft. I'm not favoring the team like you.
Hairy flip-flop freak. That's the new name. That's how we're going down with it. Let's get into the game, guys. Thank you once again. It could be looking at a 2-0 here for Virtus.pro. We'll have to wait and see how it goes down. But Toby and Lacoste, do you agree with our guys? Do you think it's going to be this easy for Virtus.pro, or do you find a magic way that Spirit can make this work?
No, VP definitely have the mentality going into this game, but do they have the draft, Lacoste?
Virtus.pro, they adjusted their lanes. They had, I believe, their first thought was we're gonna put the Batten on the off lane, but then he's playing against the Slark. They also picked Lina against their Dead Prophet, so they're switching things around. Now they will have Dead Prophet against the Slark.
Yeah.
So that's going to be okay lane. That's a lot of harassment from that Prophet Ogre. And on the mid lane, Kunkka barely loses any of the matchups. You're playing against Lina, which means that you're going to get harassed a lot, but there's always an X-Mark play, TP back to base, heal up. That's why Kunkka is such a strong mid laner.
DP actually looks like she's going to be against the Batrider. Slark's going to be playing the mid versus Kunkka. At least the observer board from Virtus.pro will see everything very, very early on. And they're
still gonna put Lina mid and just avoid this Dead Prophet and Ogre lane and have Slark against Spectre. That's what Team Spirit wants.
Yeah, GPK is coming back to it. It just looked like the way they were moving that maybe they would have tried to give that a crack. But yeah, Snark's waiting up on the top. And Pango will try and contest the bounty rune. And they actually just walk off the bounty. Suppose it's fine. Virtus.pro's already got both of the bounties from bottom lane, so it's a 2-2 trade.
Yes, it is.
How's this mid Kunkka meant to like round up the VP lineup? As you said, they kind of switched their lanes up with their last pickup. They took a lot of extra time for this. Is this enough of a stun? Enough like team fight control?
It's just a control for Slark. They needed something that controls the Slark, like pre-BKB. Right now they have much stronger team fight with Dead Prophet, Spectre, a Bat in position 5 who's just going to be dishing out like heals, shields, and Kunkka needs to control the Slark. I was trying to figure out like which hero they're going to go for. It was like very tough. They were limited, so they needed to also adjust the lanes. And I think Virtus.pro did it correctly.
Yeah. It's like Spirit are actually running for now a tri-lane off lane. A Batrider all by himself. It looks like Spectre's okay with this, at least for the moment. The creep wave is a little bit all over the shop. It's pretty... oh, actually, Slark's going to dive under this, try and contest ILTW for the farm. At least takes the range creep as a deny.
And you want to push your lane, like what Team Spirit is doing. Make Spectre farm underneath the tower. And then you pull your lane to the side camp, which did not happen. I believe Solo was body blocking it. Like, it's very important to abuse this side camp when you're playing the off lane.
Merchant's coming to the bottom lane. I think he wants to help out. He probably doesn't know about the aggressive... Well, he definitely won't know about it. The aggressive Dire Observer Ward that saw his movement in.
So right now, Team Spirit, they have 2 lanes that they wanted. They wanted to have a Slark against double melee lane. And they have a Batrider against this Ogre and Dead Prophet. So they are getting a lot with just this lane setup. Also mid lane, pretty equal so far. Lina a couple more denies, but... in terms of gold, it doesn't matter anymore.
LTW needs a little bit more room to breathe. With Doga coming to the top, I don't know if that's going to be enough to really nail that. Lisa Batten can zone out the Batrider and contest the last part of the pull. But Resolution doesn't want to have anything to do with this just yet. In fact, it's top lane where Ogre, dropping down rather low, gets back to the tower.
No, Droda died. Courier. Also, I want to see Dyrachyo picking up Orb of Venom in this lane. He's playing against 2 melee heroes, and he just bought it. Like, it gives you kill potential. Once he hits that acid shift level 2, look at him, how aggressive he's playing on the top lane. Like, it's a 3-Slark game if you say that X-Mark is the only spell that can counter him.
As long as they can ensure him the farm, then maybe it looked pretty damn good. Does he have enough early on to actually go for fights? Like, do you get defusal? Do you go for a hunt? Are there enough heroes that you can actually kill off to go for that early aggressive style like item build?
Yeah, the Diffusal Blade, it's the best item on the Slark you can get. Yeah. Like the man.
Like if he tries to get like more farm orientated items instead.
Like what, Midas?
I just probably not that. I don't know, like we got like Echo Saber, something like that.
It just doesn't feel right. The Diffusal Blade is much stronger, and you can get like Shadow Blade after upgrade it to Silver Edge, not necessarily straight away against Spectre.
Trying to finish up the last bit of farm. I think Solo wants an extra bit of help. Oh wait, he popped down. He came off the hill. I guess it all still works, but Solo will try and track down the Bat Rider and see if he can finish him off. In fact, Bat Rider just TPs all the way back down to the tier 1 tower after cutting the wave and getting some CS. Oh, it's up on top lane. The Centaur even helping out with the stuns, making it difficult for Zayek to move down. He's too early to go for the bounty runes, but he's definitely in time to die. One more attack from Misha will find that kill. There's no permanent essence onto the Slark. But it is first blood to Team Spirit. A lot better than game 1.
Oh, for sure. Like, this Slark is gonna have free time. What's the CS on him? 21, 9, Spectre 17. Well, Spectre's doing much better than I expected, considering that she has a melee support, and they're playing against Slark in the lane. No one is level 6.
Having a crack.
Actually going for this one.
Yeah, full combination on the Pangolier. Bringing in Solo. They don't have enough damage, however. There were stick charges available for Pango. He just swashbuckles back to the tier 1 tower, so Immersion is fine. And GPK is like, well, what did I miss?
That's why I was wondering, why is he using both? Like, it's not like they're getting a kill on Pango, who had 7 sticks. Bat Rider trying to cut the waves. Doesn't have a TP yet.
I bad more shield up. They're getting some really cool initiations with this Slark pounce on Inkswell. So impossible for anyone to stand on that lane. That's why Spectre's like, yeah, screw this, I'm out. I'm going bottom.
Also, Slark is getting some solo XP, which means that once he hits level 6, you can't really harass him, so no one can come to the top lane. And I don't mean their mid laner, no one, Kanka. I mean, you literally no one can stand once Slark hits level 6, and you don't have the best way to rotate with your position 4s and 5s. Like, every single spell he can get out of it, except the X mark.
They're coming to the bottom lane. Slark instantly walks into the creep wave, so RTW at least gets him a little bit of an indication about this. Pounce very much off target. So shield up the Spectre. Inkswell is out, and Slark to change his targets over towards the Abaddon. And that's his first permanent agi he gets to gain. And Spectre is already leaving. Up on top, but now Resolution, you'll have to TP down to the bottom lane if you want that farm. I would say that, like,
Slark, that's the plan.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty damn good job of it. Like, when it comes to top 5 net worths, 3 of them by far belong to, 3 of them belong to Virtus.pro. The top 2 belong to Spirit. But it's the Bat Rider who's falling decently behind, going for this BT build. And the initiation of Spirit feels a little rough until Slark can just do it all himself.
And Slark just hit level 6, has a Clarity running, needs to bring more either Mangoes or Clarities to be full mana. Like, you can see, they're just dodging Slark. It's like playing against the Timbersaw right now. You do not want to come to his lane.
Pango just easily broke the smoke of Virtus.pro, sits behind the tower, survives. No one will now find him, and he's going to commit a combination, or at least attempt it. pick him up, throw him down. There's an extra silence from Resolution to ensure they do find that kill. GPK will TP over. But it feels like a pretty heavy commitment from Virtus.pro just to kill off the support Pango.
They need to get whatever they can from the map right now, any kind of experience for their supports. I mean, Ogre position 4, who didn't have a good laning stage, is just Ogre 5. Like, the hero, you're not gonna get any, like, item. He's the only hero that can buy Hand of Midas right now, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And you're nowhere near that.
Haystroon's coming up towards the top. LTW wants to try and keep this Bat Rider out of play. I think no one's realized that the move has been scouted out. The Observer Ward saw Zayak moving in. That's why Bat Rider makes a break for the trees. You hit level 6 over on the Death Prophet, which means you kind of want a little bit of push power to come from Virtus.pro.
Supports are very low. I believe you can't group up yet around that Prophet ulti.
So what do? You keep the farm going? It feels like that plays more in Team Spirit's hands. Like, it's easy farm for the Lina to get a Eul Scepter set up. Slark is going to get that Echo Saber. I find a kill on top. At least that's the attempt. Bat Rider getting back to the tier 1 tower will take to the skies, and Virtus.pro don't have any vision.
Problem is, these two supports, position 4 and 5 of Virtus.pro right now, they can't push the lanes. I think they did a good job, like, adjusting the draft in terms of, like, we're gonna have a better lanes. But then Team Spirit just, what if we don't lane it this way? Like, Galaxy Brain plays. All they had to do is switch. And it's working out well for them.
Dive on Bat Rider again. This time he's got no Firefly on cooldown for another 5 seconds. Trying to get a little bit of extra distance. Firefly will now come off cooldown so he can take to the skies. But LTW stays with him and Resolution rotates to the top lane. They were setting up for a go on mid. In fact, no one's trying to do it solo. Almost killing off Immersion, but he may just lose his own life for this. The shield crash forward. Spectral Horn forward. Able to find at least one and maybe a second. That Kunkka. And not only does he survive, he finds the kill. And with the catapult wave, they look to keep the pressure on.
And that was about with Arcane Rune, which means he's going to have it in another 30 seconds once again, and then they can keep fighting. Slark is going for your item build, Toby.
Uh-huh.
Echo Saber. Oh, I don't know.
I'm not just saying, man. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm saying.
I mean, it gives you double hit slow, but I still prefer the extra damage plus a slow from the Fusel Blade.
Here's the exorcism out from Resolution. You said they weren't certain they could group up. Both the supports of 5, both from Kunkka, on the run as Immersion, rolling thunders through the mid lane. He'll go out to safety. Slark still having a free game on bottom lane. ILTW's come down here now to try and stop this push into the tier 1 tower so they can keep their own rebuttal. The Virtus.pro will lose their second Observer Ward in the span of a minute, reducing all their vision on the northern side of the map. And now back up before the tower comes within deny range.
We didn't talk about like Team Spirit mid-game fight execution. Grimstroke, double Laguna Blade, double Lasso. It's always going to be good. Like the combo that they have, once Bat Rider gets a Blink Dagger, it's going to be much easier to execute. And wondering what kind of item build Lina will go for. I would prefer to go Aghanim Scepter, like Ether Lens Aghanim Scepter, where you are just spell damage dealer. And once again, it makes this combo much easier to execute from far away. Pango, just steal the invis.
Almost thought you wanted to let him walk down a little further. They have their own Observer Ward on the hill. The Dire Sentry is actually in range. If at any point they get flying vision, they might get something out of it. Resolution's getting a lot of space up on top. He's almost completed the mech. He's now 250 gold away from that. So he's going to play this Aura surviving. The medic 3 position off lane. Solo might be in a little bit of trouble. Rolling Thunder into the Inkspool underneath the tower. Abaddon stunned up and killed off before he can get any kind of shields up. And before that level 6 has arrived, it's going to be a little bit harder to kill him next time once he does have 6.
They give kill to Slark, he gets perma agi, that's the second perma agi for him. He's doing Scotty next item. I guess he just wants to tank up. Like, a good build would be either... I'm not gonna say this Echo Saber because I'm not really a fan of it, but like the Fusel Blade, the S and Y Satanic, you don't die. Like, you can stand the ground and just fight.
It seems like he's preparing for late game against the Spectre, if that's meant to be the answer. But Kunkka's #1 net worth on the field. Like, they've got some good combinations to keep the push going. Virtus.pro now bring numbers to the bottom lane. Once again, a pattern being initiated on. He's so close to level 6, but does not have the borrowed time yet. Now, full heroes on the bottom ready to try and fight for Virtus.pro. I'm looking for the Lina. She can TP out. She's currently bottling up, getting her charges up and running. The silence over on Slark. Gets pulled back. X marks spot, combining with the board. He'll get the stun, but Slark able to get inside the Shadow Dance, and that's a very, very deep death profit. Has to one charge and then mech as well, but only Thunder from Immersion buys Electric Time and Resolution. Didn't get a lot. Now Resolution gets up in the air with the Ultimate from GPK. One more attack effect as the Firefly will end up killing him off, but into the back lines. ILTW kills off GPK. Finally, the Soulbind has arrived as Batrider is battling inside the fire and the flames. Buyback coming in from Pango. They want to ensure that this Spectre dies. With the flame break back and Slark pouncing forward, they're gonna find this kill. And Virtus.pro, they really forced the issue and they got forced back.
That Prophet is very strong, very tanky. You have a Baron healing her up. Problem is, a Baron is one creep away from level 6, so he can't get really close. But that Prophet with mech, 21 charges, like, she is really tanky. The problem is, like, Spectre doesn't deal that much damage. Also, Immersion didn't have to buy back there. They would still grab the kill. Important thing is Slark is not dying. Slark should be able to take control of this game completely in the next, like, 5 to 10 minutes.
Yep. Oh, no one. All right. He's going to go for the X-Mark Torrent. Just misses the timing slightly. Slark was already looking to get off with the Dark Pact. Are they really going to try and fight this one again?
I think Virtus.pro understands that their position 4s and 5s don't, like, scale. They're strong right now. Kunkka with the armlet. That Prophet doesn't have ulti, but they still want to make any kind of plays, even if they show on the bottom. If they can disengage, give time to Spectre.
Mid lane.
That she can farm the items.
Laguna's out. Death Prophet has extra heal thanks to the one charges as well as the mech. Solo will also arrive to get the shields. Immersion staying under. The Soulbind out once again. Solo getting a lot more of the snipe back as Death Prophet starts the Spirit Siphon. Slark is dropping very, very low, but they need more help. They need more damage, but no one's TP's on cooldown. He cannot join the fight. Spectre's Haunt also on cooldown and TP on cooldown. So Spirit, they know this is currently, it's them versus 3 of Virtus.pro. They took the tier 1 tower, but now Kunkka will arrive. Looking for an X-mark target. Can't get in range of anybody. The Team Spirit will back up. And Slark looks for his new target.
It seems like they're not on the same page. Lina was just hitting the tower instead of trying to cut into backlines. Pop the spells on the targets that were soul-binded. But I think it's a correct choice from Lina. Don't dive. Like, we are having a okay advantage right now.
He doesn't have a combination to work with. Resolution is holding the Exorcism for the moment. Spectral Horn's off cooldown in 5 seconds time. They would love to try and actually take a fight underneath their own tower if they had one. But the Rolling Boulder comes forward. Kunkka, that ship needs to come down, but the silence, the ship did come off in time. So everyone drunk on rum for Virtus.pro, looking for the follow-up stun. Now the Spectral Horn will arrive. Immersion cops so much damage so quickly. He tries to bounce back out again with his one charges and shield crush, but it won't work. And now it's Slark trying to find underneath the Shadow Dance. It's a good silence. He can't just pounce away, but Laguna Blade putting Resolution down, and the lasso controlling Kunkka. Perfect core control from Team Spirit. Now they can just keep running through. Solo is low, but they're focusing on the third core. It's ILTW. Tip him before he dies. He almost killed off Slark, but Slark will survive. The three cores from Virtus.pro is what Team Spirit claim.
I love the way Team Spirit is playing right now. Their like execution in team fights is on point. You see Panga rolling in, Grimstroke pops the Ink Swell on him, and then he cuts into backlines, find the Baton, get a couple of stuns. It's so hard for Virtus.pro to take a fight. Like, they don't have the BKBs, and they're not gonna have them for quite some time, I believe. So right now, Team Spirit, they can abuse that. They have very good spell damage. There is no like pipe builder on their side. Resolution going straight into Guardian Greaves. Kanka needs to be the one controlling the Slug. They can kill him right now. He is not unkillable, for sure.
I was going to kill Kanka instead.
Spells.
He's trying to torrent to create some space. Laguna Blade's already out. Double TPs are on the way from Virtus.pro. Soul is the first one to get there. Actually buying some time for no one to back up behind the tower. He doesn't have anything else to give, however, apart from his support heroes to die. That's exactly what they will give Virtus.pro. Perfect chain stuns from GPK gives him the double kill. And they'll take the tier 1 tower.
Right now, it's just falling apart for Virtus.pro. Like, they understand that this Slark is the strongest hero in the game, and he's going back for that Scotty build. Like, I personally think it's much better if you just get, like, the tanky items. You get either SNY into Satanic, or you get Scotty, and then you can get, like, a Silver Edge and just hunt down people, also break the Spectre. Interesting, he decided to keep the Dragon Scale instead of Ring of Aquila on Slark.
Maybe feeling a little threatened. Very close to finishing up that Scotty. New wave function should be kind of nice for a Slark. Virtus.pro, they want to try and make sure they get at least 2 of these bounty runes. Because they're not going to get tops, they got to fight bottom. Vision up on the hillside. Virtus.pro, they really don't want this. Well, they don't know they don't want this, but now they're going to know that they don't want this. Resolution walks forward. The shields are there from Solo to break Resolution free. He did pick up the bounty rune, but the battle has already begun. Once again, Pangolier into the backline. Solo, the borrowed time will give him an escape opportunity. X marks the spot. Nope, couldn't get it off on the Slark. And Virtus.pro is still sitting underneath the Radiant Observer Ward. It's like everything they're doing is currently known by Spirit.
Your position 4 and 5 on Virtus.pro, they can't farm the items. That's the problem. The only way you get the gold is either you stack something and then your Spectre farms it, or you take a team fight and pray you're getting a kill.
I don't think I like this, those options.
Or you find Philosopher's Stone. Abaddon has one.
That'll work. Find free money. BT's the all-scepter Bat Rider. Wants to have a bit of play with Kunkka. You see no one's mentality right there too. As quick as he possibly can, just throws down the ghost ship, expecting there to be a lot more heroes behind him, but reveals the fact that Virtus.pro have no information on Spirit's movements. Slark just wants to finish up his last point booster. A little bit more money. Pick up the Scotty. And in fact, they're going to fight even before he has the Scotty. 4 men smoke up, and they're headed over.
That Scotty could change things quite a lot. Like, new Scotty, 35 less regen and lifesteal, and they have a lot of regen and heals.
Sending Kunkka to the front lines. He's got the halberd available. He'll need an extra couple of help. Solo there for the shield, so he can break Kunkka free pretty quickly. No rum available, however, and the Soulbind lasso. It only actually caught out 1, but they'll stick with him. They're looking for the kill over from the Barrada. ILTW in the backlines couldn't pick off GPK. It's a good stroke of fate. Buying some space for Slark. Flamebreak actually pushing Resolution forward, but the Light Strike array from Lina, it creates more space. Misha is the only one that can really catch up to. They smoke up for some extra movement speed. Misha will go down. He's actually worth 312 gold. That's very different to game 1. Virtus.pro actually repels Spirit out of their own jungle.
Spirits are running out on that profit. I don't think they have enough damage to get into the Roche pit. And this is what Team Spirit needs to do. They need to try to go in and out of the fights. They have like no long cooldowns. They can keep fighting all the time, and that's how we want their fights to be with the Slark.
Have they got another control? They're trying to get closer. There's some slow, but nope, not going to happen. Nice heal set from GPK. Means he can steal the Arcane Rune from Resolution. Not just steal, also contain inside the bottle. And he's going for that Aghanim Scepter build you wanted.
It's very powerful. You can blow up a Baron before he gets the ulti off. Like, it's just the pure damage is always going to be good against the Spectre as well. He's very close to it, just 800 gold away from it. New Slark with the new Scotty. He's ready to take a fight. Like, I believe Team Spirit needs to shout out the waves and then go for a fight. There's no Dead Prophet ulti, and they're relying so much on DP to be able to deal the damage.
In we go.
That's one way to start a fight.
That it is. Let's see if they got enough. You said no Spectral Horn, no Exorcism. Two huge abilities that are required. Solar's going to come in. The smoke will break. So yeah, Roshan's happening. He just walks into the pit. The silence quickly onto Kunkka. Penance Embrace is removed. Flame Break bouncing around. Resolution needs to help him out. Solo, he's holding the shield still to make sure he can break somebody free. And it's got to actually be the Kunkka. The Soulbinder's good, combining with the lasso. The Kunkka, the ship, it'll finally come in, but it's all too late. Virtus.pro completely trapped on their own ramp. ILTW cannot find its way back up again. 4 heroes down. You're about to make it 5. No borrowed time for Solo. He'll shield. He'll stand his grounds like maybe I can pick up nothing.
This is it, Toby. Pack it up. We're going to have a game number 3. I don't want to be a downer, but I believe this game is not looking good for the Virtus.pro. Like, 2 supports, once again, not doing anything. That Prophet was very close to having ulti in that team fight. And I mean, you're fighting into Lina with Ether Lance.
You know, I really don't know where Dota Pass gets win probability from, but it says it's a 50-50 game right now. I am not feeling that at all.
I mean, you couldn't even kill Slark once so far, and it's only gonna become harder and harder. Like, he is level 17, full Scotty plus Aegis. Good luck dealing with Slark.
And he's still going for full late game item build. He's going for the Butterfly next. I'm sorry, it's like none of your early game items you're asking for, but it won't matter if he keeps finding kills. ILTW, you just Spectral Dagger over this. Slark, the Observer Wards get planted, but it's a little too late. Spectre's already backed up. If they got that kill, you're looking at no buyback for the Spectre. You're looking at basically a ticket to go high ground. Oh, immersions. Faking out the Rolling Thunder. Thinks about it. Resolution gonna let the silence go. Gambit, maybe GPK able to actually help out. Landed an extra stun, but it wasn't enough space for Immersions to get away to safety. Misha also on the run, but Slark's waiting for his time to fight. Remember, he's got Aegis the Immortal. He wants to get to the back lines, and they managed to get Resolution's Exorcism to burn. This feels like a huge victory for Spirit.
Oh, they're fine with that. Every single time Exorcism is used and they don't kill neither Lina nor Slark, I think they're fine with that. Like, if Slark wants to play this kind of a game, he could get Aghanim Scepter and then blink out.
Stun control's pretty damn good, but hey, remember, he's still got the Aegis Immortal, so you kill him once, you gotta kill him twice. Perfect double silence, perfect double Laguna, and double lasso. Everything together that can be doubled up. Super size me, Team Spirit. Resolution, maybe they still want to try and fight. Kunkka buys back into the game. Solo actually dies to the Phantom's Embrace, but remember, Slark, he hasn't died yet. Immersion's TP'd in towards the outpost, so now he's good to go as well. Quick jump forward, slow down the Ogre. Good stun from Zyke will create a little extra space when you get hit by the Inkswell, but my god, Slark already on the back lines, already on top of no one with a rolling boulder from Immersions. They keep the stuns going under the tier 3 towers. The good silence from Resolution, but it's not stopping this Slark with so much stolen agility from continuously fighting. Maybe now they'll bounce back out, but they're going to die back over on no one. And he knows Spirit just want to get back in there again. Regenerate back up and go for the fight.
It's so easy for Slark to do whatever he wants in that fight. Like 31 Essence Chest stolen, permanent 11. They didn't even take the Aegis off of him.
Yeah. No. This game feels like it's pretty much done. Spectre is looking for something up on the top lane. Have to TP back pretty soon. You're going to lose this mid-tier 3 no matter what. Light Striker Ray connects and Resolution, they pounce forward with Laguna played out and the Flame Break. There's a lot of damage into Resolution. Slark's already got the kill. Back to the tier 3 tower. The tier 2 towers are still up, so they can't push in instantly. Team Spirit, they can take this Rax and just back up. And that's probably why ILTW is taking the time on top lane to try and finish a Diffusal Blade. Then maybe he can get on top of the Lina.
Slark just got a bottle from Lina, so he's gonna bottle up the double damage. Age is still up and running for 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's gonna be full butterfly and 1,000 gold on Slark.
Vector chose herself. Batride's got to get there quick enough to get the Yule Scepter. Not enough vision during the nighttime, however.
And Slark has lifesteal talent level 15, plus Vlad's extra 20% lifesteal on top of that.
Then evasion butterfly and everything else. Still got Aegis of the Immortal for the moment. And then they smoke up and they're running towards the mid. Looking for a fresh target. Resolution will present himself. He's got the creeps available, the pounds forward, and you see the double damage turn on. You see Resolution's life go to 0. Zyke also wants to try and retreat back out here, but I'm sorry, man, that ain't gonna happen. Even the Abaddon solo, a borrowed time will trigger. They'll take him back up default because, hey, why not? You can keep building up your Essence Shift, and this really finish the game up. Take out the tier 4 towers. Virtus.pro just don't have the numbers to fight anymore. And this is a big win for Team Spirit. After what happened in Game 1, they fought back in Game 2, and they're going to push it into a decider. They do not want to give up. They do not want to allow Virtus.pro to have that top 4 position, even if they are trapped in the lower part.